Guys, you want to create a website that is going to be a place where when people land on it, they're going to be inspired to use you as a realtor. Because here's what happens. What happens is somebody refers you to a friend or relative, right? And they say, hey, you should use my agent, Jim. And the first thing that people are going to do is they're going to Google you. They're going to say, oh, let's check out Jim online. And then they're going to land on your website generally. If that website looks like it was built in the 90s or the 2000s, the early 2000s, you're going to probably be discounted. They're going to be like, man, they look like they're, old timey, right? We don't want to use those people. So what you need to do is make sure you got a really, really strong website. This is especially true for sellers that are considering who they want to list their properties with. So I'm going to give you 6 strategies for creating a killer website and making sure that you dominate in your market. Number 1, your website should be a reflection of the lifestyle or the niche that you serve. So if you're in New York City, it's going to be a reflection of the condos and the high rises and the lifestyle that somebody's going to enjoy if they live there. If you're in, like where I'm at in Southern Oregon, it's going to be mountains and lakes and streams and wineries and that kind of thing. So make sure that that homepage is a direct reflection of the market you're serving, number 1. Second thing you want to do is make sure that search is front and center. Search has got to be the number 1 thing that they're going to be driven towards, because that's what most people are doing when they land on your site, is they're going to go search for real estate. Make sure your website is IDX, meaning it's connected to the local MLS, and people can make and do searches. If they can't do that, there's no reason for them to be at your site. The third thing is you want to make sure that it's hyperlocal. What does hyperlocal mean? It means that you're connected to everything there is to do in the community. So we want to look at your website like a little mini chamber of commerce. In fact, you should go to the Chamber of Commerce and steal a lot of that content. The Chamber of Commerce wants you to steal that content. They want to drive people into the community. So look at all those links that they have and say, maybe I should have some links like that on my website. Make it as hyper-local as possible. And by the way, that word relocation, make sure there's a relocation tab on your website. Really, really important. And I would recommend a buying tab and selling tab as well. So people can click it and say, oh, here's everything I need to know about buying, everything I need to know about selling, and then my search and my relocation tab is really important. The other thing I'd really think about is making sure your website's dynamic. What does dynamic mean? It means if I come to your site today and I look at it and I search on it, does it look like the same site 6 months ago, right? Or a year ago? Have you changed your site in any way? So you need to make sure your site's dynamic and is changing frequently. Google will rank you higher when you're changing it often. So maybe make a calendar date for yourself every month to come in and change something about your site. Change the homepage a little bit, not dramatically. Just change your photos out. Photos, by the way, are super, super important. I want to bring this up really quickly. Your photos specifically, super, super important. So you want to make sure that you go in and change out your photos almost seasonally. I would say every quarter. This will refresh your entire site. It'll refresh all of your marketing. People will take a second look at you because you got new photos up. So easy to do now with AI. I just did this on my own website and I used all AI photos. I'm the first to admit it. They look better than me. It's just like a cleaned up, version of yourself. So for some people, AI works really well. We did it with my wife. It didn't work at all for her. It looked like a completely different person. But for me, it just made me look a little bit thinner, a little bit better, a little bit younger. I'm like, hey, you know what? I love these photos. I'm going to use these. So I think I used headshotpro.ai, if I'm not mistaken. So, but there's a ton of them out there. And for so inexpensive, I got 180 pictures for $30. So cheap, right? But whatever you're doing, you got to make sure you got a headshot on there. Not just a headshot, by the way, all kinds of different shots, but different shots that you're updating all the time. So photos are super important. Another one is making sure that you have a blog. I can't emphasize how important a blog is on your website today. Here's why a blog is so important. A blog will help you rank up in your Google search rankings. And here's what you should be doing with your blog. I would recommend that every week at least you're posting a new article up on your blog about the local real estate market, which you can then repurpose. You can put that up on social media. You can put that out as your email newsletter for the week. You might say, Jim, this is so overwhelming. I just can't even imagine how I would be able to produce all that content. Let me give you a piece of AI that we're now using with my team, Alwrite.ai. And what this system does is it'll reach into any YouTube video you feed into. It doesn't have to be your video, by the way. It can be anybody's video. And now it'll create a blog post based on it. Very clean. And if you want to add some URL links, I'll even put graphs in there. I mean, incredible and instantaneous. It's so fast. It looks so good. Of course, you want to give people credit. So if somebody else's content, make sure you're saying, hey, I caught this video and I took this away from the video. but it will look so good. And you can just push this out every week for 20 minutes. You can push out an incredible blog post, which will rank you higher. Here's what I recommend you do. Go to answerthepublic.com, look for the most popular topics in your market area about real estate, find one, feed it into YouTube, find a video that's relevant, take that over to Alwrite.ai and get a blog post written about that topic. Google will say, oh, this person is creating content that is relevant to the market, and I'm going to rank them higher. So these are some tools, guys, to help you create a better website. I just want to give you a bunch of ideas really rapidly. Hope that helps you today. Go out there and crush it in the marketplace, or rebuild your website, start ranking higher, start collecting more buyers and sellers. If you want more ideas like this, join us over at eRealEstateCoach.com. Check out our Path Performance Coaching. Love to work with you over there. Have a great day. Good selling.